Good morning. I'm very pleased to have been invited to address today's event, Raising the Game, the Future for Women's Sport, co-hosted by the Women's Sport and Fitness Foundation and Sport Business Group, with generous support from Scottish Widows. People know how passionate I am about sport. Sport's an important part of my life, the life of our country, and I know the unique role that sport can play in bringing people and communities together, and in allowing the talents and aspirations of our young people to flourish. For all these reasons, I'm firmly committed to making the opportunities to participate, enjoy and succeed in sport available to everyone in our country. And yet, as today's event will show, there's a critical underrepresentation of women and girls in sport, from participation through to elite performance and leadership. In the UK today, over 80% of women are not sufficiently active to maintain their health. The biggest gender gap in participation is amongst the youngest age group. 16 to 24-year-old girls are half as active as boys of the same age. The levels of activity are even lower for low-income black and ethnic minority and disabled women. The consequences of these critically low levels of activity are wide-ranging. Aside from missing out on all those benefits I enjoyed from sport, they clearly have serious implications for health, from heart disease, strokes and diabetes, to then depression and self-esteem. At the elite end, there's still a critical lack of investment and profile. For example, there are still no professionally paid women in team sport today. It makes the achievement of the women's football team in the World Cup in China recently all the more remarkable, given they were playing against fully professional counterparts. For all these reasons, the government is very pleased to be supporting the Women's Sport and Fitness Foundation. And I personally would like to support their message that it's time for a change. Achieving change will require the sports sector to work harder to understand women's lives and to ensure what they offer is designed to meet women's interests and needs. And we also need to motivate women themselves to want to be active. And this means understanding the reasons why many women don't want to be active at the moment. Time, money, and people to be active with all play a part. But the most significant barrier to women being active today is not a practical barrier, it's a cultural one. And we need to tackle this cultural barrier head on and look to develop a society in which girls and women aspire to be active and in which fit and healthy women are held up as role models. This is a challenge, of course, beyond sport, but sport can play a crucial leadership role. The Olympic Games in 2012 presents us with an opportunity, unique opportunity. Using the profile and momentum of this event, we can commit ourselves to achieving a step change in how women and girls experience and participate in sport and exercise. Sport needs to change so that it becomes as much a place for women and girls as it is for men and boys. Exercise should be something all women can integrate into their everyday lives. We need a cultural change that allows girls to see sport and physical activity as aspirational. The government has issued a challenge to sport. We want 2 million more active people by 2012. It's our responsibility to ensure women and girls represent at least half of these 2 million. I urge you to support the Women's Sport and Fitness Foundation as they take the campaign forward. It's a great opportunity, and let's take it.